Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the East Cocalico Township for December 29th meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As always, please check your cell phones, electronic devices, make sure they won't ring during the meeting. This meeting was duly advertised in the Lancaster newspaper. The publication was on December 14th of 2022. We will have that.
Presenter unfortunately has the flu. So.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Excuse me. Announcements of executive sessions that were held. Executive session was held on 12/19 of 22 from approximately 10:30 to 11:30. That executive session, excuse me, that's not an executive session. That was an informational session. Again, December 19th of 2022 was an informational session, and that was with Kilmer Insurance, and that was approximately from 10:30 until 11:30 in the morning. There were only two supervisors at that informational meeting, and that was myself and Jeff Mitchell. Again, informational only, no decisions, no deliberations whatsoever. There was an executive session on December 19th of 2022. That was from 11:35 to 12:16. That was related to the township manager search. There was another executive session on 12/28 of 22 from 10 a.m. until approximately 11 a.m. and that one was also for township manager search. Okay, past meeting minutes for approval. Gentlemen, the changes, anything at all?
At this time, I'd actually like to amend the agenda to add something if possible.
Sure.
I make a motion to amend the agenda. Second.
I'll second that.
I'd like to add under new business, there is no new business tab, township manager search update.
Business, after what number? We'll do that.
We'll do it as number.
After all,
Okay.
is typically where it goes.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so we have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. Motion carries.
Last meeting minutes look good to me, gentlemen. You guys have any changes?
There was one misspelling, but I think Lisa corrected that in the version that I have.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Thursday, December 15th, 2022 Board of Supervisor meeting minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any questions, comments on that one? Seeing none, we have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. Motion carries. Okay, action items, land planning and engineering. Brett.
Good evening. First one on the agenda was the Blackwood Warehouse Light Park computer cycle. That was kind of a placeholder there as a follow-up to prior discussions on that project with the applicant, during which they had indicated they would likely have interest in further discussions with the board based on the request to have an expedited timeline and review process. So we did have, I think the update tonight, we did have a recent technical review meeting, which we reached out, initiated with the applicant. It was attended by, also by Matt Reed, the township solicitor. So maybe with that said, I'll probably turn it over to Matt and let him highlight some items. But the applicant elected not to be in attendance tonight because there were no real specific items they had to discuss. They're tackling their issues at this point.
So members of the board, you'll recall that the applicant was here 3 meetings ago, somewhere in there, to report that discussions with PennDOT have stalled over the design and proposal of a relocated hill road. That impacted the applicant in such a way that they feared losing their tenant because of obligations in their lease to begin site work in compliance with the tenant's desires by January, or as it turns out, with a 30-day opportunity to cure, February. And they proposed an alternate path that could possibly get them to a start in February on site work. That, in a nutshell, was to submit a revised preliminary plan. The MPC permits site work to be done on an approved preliminary plan, but the major revision in that preliminary plan was to remove the relocated hill road in preference to an access drive that would serve only the Black Horse property development. That revision also included removing the installation of traffic lights at the intersection of that access drive and 272. That was a significant revision from the township's point of view because the relocated hill road is something that the township desires to see. It's something that the township has an agreement with the applicant to construct. It's part of the township's traffic impact fee capital improvements plan, and the agreement with the developer provided that the traffic impact fee revenue allocated to that project would be committed by the township as part of the overall construction costs. So you directed us, your consultants, your engineers, and solicitor to provide for some measure of security that if this preliminary plan that doesn't show the relocated hill road is approved, that nevertheless the developer is obligated, remains obligated under that agreement, and some financial security backs up that obligation. In these meetings that Brent described, it became clear that unless certain decisions are made, certain policy decisions are made, there's a real possibility that PennDOT might never approve the relocated hill road. And the hinge issue is whether the existing intersection of existing Hill Road and 272 would be maintained in some fashion. Currently, it's a full movement intersection. The current discussions with PennDOT include a limited movement intersection, right in, right out, correct? Yeah, even after the relocated Hill Road, PennDOT is advocating closing the intersection. I've reviewed this with Brent and particularly reviewed it with John Schick, the township's traffic engineer. And what John tells me is that if the township were to acquiesce to the eventual closure of that intersection completely, no movements, no turns in, no turns out, that some version of a relocated Hill Road would be eventually approved by PennDOT. And that approval would include a lighted, traffic lighted intersection of that new Hill Road with 272. Again, that result is something that the township has planned for, something that the township has put in its capital improvements plan. It's a fundamental part of the traffic impact fee program. So the township has a significant interest, in our opinion, in seeing that that's accomplished. With some agreement that planning should proceed with PennDOT by this developer, showing that the intersection, the current existing intersection, would be closed once the new intersection is created, would move things along. At this point, those planning discussions are stalled. PennDOT is adamant, and the only pending traffic impact study submitted shows, again, that limited movement intersection remaining. So what I'm suggesting and recommending to the board that you consider tonight, expressing your consensus on what we should do with that intersection. If the consensus is to close it, then we can advise the developer and Route 2 Associates to proceed with scoping a traffic impact study that proposes it to be closed. If the consensus is that it must remain open, even if it's a limited movement intersection, then we're essentially saying that the likely result is that we're essentially saying that the relocated Hill Road is off the table for the foreseeable future.
Well, as chair, I'll state my opinion, and it's the same opinion I expressed 2-3 meetings ago. To me personally, Hill Road is a liability hazard, the way it sits right now. When you pull out of that road during heavy traffic, especially if a larger vehicle pulls up next to you, if they're going right and you're going left, you are literally rolling the dice there. We've asked this developer, we, meaning the municipality, have asked the developer to help us with Hill Road, with the realignment of Hill Road. I believe the developer is, from my understanding, has understood that and has offered up their help in pulling together their plans with the realignment. So, because we asked the developer for that help, as a municipality, we know we have a liability there. If the only way the project can move forward is to close Hill Road, at the top, it has to be closed. Otherwise, we're just risking the developer not developing. Hill Road will remain the same, and the chances of a fatality, injuries, you name it, is going to continue there, if not, as traffic increases, probably have a higher chance that that happens. So my opinion is the same as it was in that last 3 meetings, or 3 meetings ago, roughly, when that was.
Yeah, there's not much that was said there that I disagree with. Probably everybody in this room has tried to pull out a Hill Road at one time or another, and it is a problem. You know, this is the golden opportunity to get that fixed in a positive way. So, yeah, I'm all in favor of working with the developer to that end.
Same as well. I think the same. It's unfortunate that it kind of stalled their process, and they're actually doing us a favor. That's how we have to look at it. Where they technically could have already started possibly moving dirt if PennDOT wouldn't have stopped their project because of the relocation of Hill Road. Being that they are still willing to help us, I think that's great. Could have cost the township a lot more. So if that's what it takes, it's probably what we have to do. And at the end of the day, we know we did something for the safety of our residents. It's not about getting a property developed. It's mainly about the safety of the residents pulling out there. I pulled out many times pulling left, like RC says, if someone's there on your right, you barely see anything. If you're going right and there's a big truck to your left, you barely see anything trying to make a right turn. So there's both directions, there's complications. So just keep everybody safe and happy. A signaled intersection is probably the way to go.
So members of the board, if I take this consensus and communicate it to the developer and Route 2 associates, what would happen is that at some appropriate time, you'll see a plan for consideration of approval that shows, among other things, closing that intersection. There are any number of other issues that need to be addressed in that plan. And the planning process takes a little bit of time, and things happen during the planning process. And, at this point, none of us can predict that that plan is going to be in front of you for approval. But working towards that is the next step, and taking your consensus to the developer is a necessary step in that overall process. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Brett?
Next project on the agenda is the Clark Weaver Stormwater Management Plan, also, I think, chose by the Evergreen Acres. A little brief history here. This is the property on 272 opposite Four Seasons. A while back, the project was initiated in response to some compliance issues pursued by the zoning officer relative to expansion of the pervious area, and some building, parking, and compliance with stormwater requirements. Subsequent to that, a plan was submitted. Facilities have been installed. More recently, as-built plans provided relative to the installation of those stormwater facilities and requests for security reduction. The only little twist to this one was, in addition to constructing the stormwater management facilities to address compliance issues, the applicant also depicted some further expansion of the area and proposed placement of additional asphalt, triggering plan improvements to show also related items relative to additional ADA parking, striping, landscaping for those areas, and so forth. So the applicant has indicated completed the required stormwater improvement for both the compliance and the future expanded areas, but now has indicated that he is not elected to proceed with some of the additional expansion of the paved area. It would simply be identified as overflow. He does have adequate parking to comply with zoning requirements without them. So with that said, we did have some communication with Matt related to how to deal with this matter it's not like it's a land development plan that's been recorded, it's simply a stormwater management plan, so it's not as complicated to kind of step back from that. So after some mutual discussion, the recommended motion would be to authorize a $16,158.71 release of the current financial security being held by the township related to the Mark Weaver stormwater management plan, resulting in a total release of all financial security with the understanding that certain line approvals have not been made, as indicated as asphalt installation, curb, handicap parking signage, paint striping, landscaping, and trash wrap. And that these items will need to be reevaluated prior to any future township permitting evaluation required prior to installation of any further improvements.
So our discussion was that none of these proposed improvements are required to comply with anything. They're desired improvements of the property owner. The one that implicates public health, safety, general welfare is, or potentially was, the absence of paving where paving was proposed. But Brent advised that it's already stoned, gravelled, and we treat gravel the same way we treat macadam, or we treat macadam the same way we treat gravel, so it's accounted for in the stormwater planning.
Did you expect anyone to provide? So wishes of the board.
Yeah, I'll make that motion as read by the township engineer.
I will second that. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on that one? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries. Okay, thank you, Brett.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You can stay if you like.
I'll sit in the back.
Okay, resolution 22-21. So this is the resolution for the Township of East Cocalico authorizing carrying forward of certain general funds, unencumbered monies in the amount of $445,500 from the 2022 general fund budget to the 2023 general fund budget in order to balance the 2023 general fund budget. Okay? I will read through these real quickly so you have them. Contracted management services is $58,500. Healthcare reimbursement allowance is $37,500. MVR camera repairs is $11,000. Contracted services grant writer is $25,000. Fuel highway is $6,500. Transportation engineer is $7,000. Contracted services snow plowing is $10,000. MS4 projects is $33,000. MS4 RDA Williamstown Heights is $34,500. MS4 engineering is $10,000. MS4 Rose Hill infrastructure is $4,500. Cyber insurance is $8,000, and transfer to the capital reserve police pension, the $200,000. Again, for a total rollover of $445,500. So, do we have a motion on the rollover of the funds?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2022-21, authorizing the carrying forward of certain general fund unencumbered monies from the 2022 general fund budget to the 2023 general fund budget.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments on that one? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, none. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. So, Planning Commissioner resignation ceremonies. Okay, so we have an email here from Sarah Means. She was looking to get reappointed. However, I'll read it. I wanted to reach out prior to the agenda being completed for the January 3rd Board of Supervisor meeting, and my apologies for being so last minute, but I'm going to have to revoke my original request to be reappointed to the Planning Commission. Prior to me joining the Planning Commission, Paul and I had conversations about the timing commitment and how important it was, and for the past year, it was not an issue for me. However, recently some things have shifted for me. I am worried that I will not be able to fulfill my obligations in the role any longer, so I think it's best for me to step back at this time and let someone join who has the availability. I truly appreciate you giving me a chance. Okay, so this one's for the reappointment in January, so I've read that, and this one we can actually wait until the reappointment meeting for next week, so there's no action taken today. Okay, police department reports. Chief.
I have quite a few things, so I'll start. First with, I got an email today from Howler Enterprises. I know it's not on the agenda. I'm sure you want to handle it. If you want me to amendment to your motion to amend the agenda, or if this would fall under the $5,000 threshold, then it would be considered an emergency repair. To replace the bearing assembly on the boiler pump, which is what was leaking previously. They gave an estimate of $4,220. So $4,220 to repair that. They were not able to repair it as they thought they may. So they removed it, took it back to the shop to do what they need to do in reference to replacing the bearing assembly for the boiler pump, test the system, dispose of any old parts and debris. So I don't know what the wish of the board is, how to handle that. If you wish me to approve it under my $5,000 threshold, I can do that as an emergency repair.
It's bottom line, if we're working off the second pump only at the current time?
Correct. If that goes, we have no heat.
We're shivering, huh?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd call that a bit of an emergency. And be thankful it held up last weekend, right?
Correct.
Yeah. But that's just
I agree with what Jeff said. I think that falls under the chief on emergency.
yeah, I'm good with that.
It would normally fall under manager, but in lieu of that, I can easily deal with them again, reach out to them, let them know it's been approved.
Thank you.
You okay with that?
On the same note,
Thank you for being the building repair manager.
but on the same note, don't throw anything at me, the boiler needs to be replaced. And they did not give an estimate, but it's not gonna be cheap.
They called me today.
Did they give you the
They
amount?
will be out Wednesday, to come look at it. And he called and said, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, your guy said it's safe, but it's not okay. So I said, bring me a recommendation of replacing it or fixing it, which is probably not possible. He said, correct. So bring me a cost and I will discuss it with the board. And then at that point, we can decide what's gonna happen, because it ain't gonna be cheap. They did tell me that, so just stinks we're throwing another $4,200. Things are aging. It's definitely aging out there, so it doesn't look pretty.
So I just wanted to make you aware, I wasn't aware that they called you, but it's definitely gonna be something that needs to be taken care of.
Did they say anything about availability?
I didn't know they were calling me. They gave me my phone number and I got a random call today, so.
And until they look at it, they may not even know what kind of boiler they need. So we just don't know.
No more in the future.
Moving on, in this is not on the agenda, but needs an approval, so I would like to offer a sincere thank you to the family of Brennan Lee. They made a donation this year, in December, of $2,500 to the department to be used as we saw fit in reference to honoring Officer Lee. The letter is signed from his grandmother, father, and uncle. I put it out to the officers asking what they think the money should be spent for, what they wished that we could do to improve the department, or do other things. As you remember, I believe we had a significant amount of money donated previously, and that was used for some of the purchase of the body cam for the officers. So one of the suggestions was to improve the work areas or workstations for the officers in the squadron. The desks, workstations, I guess you call them more desks, that will provide the officers more room to do their paperwork, more room to prepare charges, etc. Were delivered yesterday, and they were put in place today. So the squadron looks a little bit different. A large table in the middle was replaced by the former desks. So trying to keep things in line. There was a remaining $788, and what we are planning to do is purchase additional monitors for the computers so the officers can have dual screens as they work. Therefore, when they're watching their body cam videos or preparing charges or doing whatever they are doing, they don't need to switch back and forth on the single monitor. They can be using both, so that'll definitely improve efficiency. It'll be more convenient and more, and easier for the officers to complete what they need to. So again, a heartfelt thank you to the Lead family for that donation. Moving on to the agenda item, hero pay and retention bonuses. So, as I said last meeting, we received a grant for $114,000. I was unaware at the time because it wasn't posted or the information wasn't given on what that $114,000 is for. I since have received the information. It is for paying for the record system for 2 years, purchasing new in-car and portable radios for the officers, the Motorola radios, which we have had great success with the portables. That we have 7 of those, so we're going to add to those portables and get new mobile radios in the cars for the officers. And the last thing is on my mind. I'll think of it. But with that, part of the grant process was retention, they called it hero pay and retention bonuses. Due to the current climate in our society in reference to police officers, they felt that that was something that could be part of the grant. We applied for that part. Unfortunately, we did not receive anything under that. After speaking with Judy in reference to the budget, there was $27,000 remaining in the budget under officer salaries under that line item, and another part of approximately another $10,000. So there was discussion in reference to potential for hero pay and retention bonuses. I spoke to Mr. Mitchell at luncheon, and I was asked to come up with a plan in reference to it. When I sent the plan, just for informational purposes, to the supervisors, I did indicate during that, or in that email, that I don't know if I would call it a conflict, but if you were looking at doing this for 16 officers, I would be included in that. If you would be looking at doing this for 15 officers, I would not be included in that. And And I was specific in that email to indicate those things. I came up with a plan that was requested in reference to $1,000 per officer for hero pay, for a total of $16,000. And the way our longevity program works in the department is if you stay with the department for 5 years, there's an additional 1% given to you that 5th year. And every year thereafter, up to year 17, there is a 0.5% in the longevity program. Therefore, an officer will cap out at 8% in reference to longevity. So we have a significant number of officers that do not qualify for the longevity program. And as we've spoken before, especially during budget time, our starting salary has been frozen for some time and is is on the lower end of the starting salary in the county. So I came up with a potential for a $2,000 retention bonus for 10 officers. One of the officers is in the longevity program, but is not capped out like the other officers are. So that would be one officer who would receive a $1,200 retention bonus, and the other officers, the other 10, would receive a $2,000 retention bonus. So the total for this program would be $37,200, which would be covered out of the remaining budget balance. Judy, was the salary of the officers and the regular overtime and the holiday overtime on?
I believe it was the holiday overtime, the salary, and then there was also a couple thousand in the benefit payout for retirees.
So with that money that was not spent in the budget, and as of this morning, again, that may change with certain bills coming in. Before the end of the year, the police budget came in at approximately $187,000 under budget for the year. So you asked me to come up with a plan. That would be the plan that I came up with, again, either with 15 or 16 officers. Your decision.
Yeah, let me add to all that. You did a good job of showing the numbers and how they play out. But early in the summer, the chief had sent an email out to the board about salary comparisons throughout Lancaster County. And, the starting salary of most of the municipalities in Lancaster County is higher than what we're paying. And some of them are substantially higher than what we're paying. I look at it that I've heard the chief talk about all the hires that have been made in recent years, and that number is what, more than 10?
It was 12 total.
And
10
a lot of time and effort goes into hiring personnel anywhere, and with the idea that we could be losing somebody because they want to go elsewhere for more pay, just scares me a little bit. We put a lot of time and effort. We've got a really good set of officers here, and I want to keep them here. I think this would be a good token to them to say, hey, you're appreciated. Until the next contract is negotiated, this is a way of showing our appreciation, and we want to keep you here for the betterment of the force. So, that was part of my request from the chief when this, and it waited until now because this hero pay was just announced right before the last meeting. We really didn't have time to put this together until now. So yeah, looking at this table that the chiefs put together, I think it reflects a little bit what my thoughts were about trying to be fair to all the officers, yet take care of the ones that are been employed under 5 years. So, yeah, I guess it would be my recommendation of the board that we would go ahead and approve this spending.
Okay. So, we need a motion for that one.
Any other comments?
But
I agree with
I completely agree.
Okay.
Moving forward with 16 officers.
Yeah.
We got presented.
Yes, all that are presented. That was my thought. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the list of hero and retention pay as presented by Chief Kepley for the 16 officers currently on the force.
Okay, and I will second that. So we have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on that one? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none. Motion carries. Thank you.
Moving on to the next line on the budget. With the information we gathered or were given from the grant, and what could be purchased, what the wish list was, and what we didn't get money for, with the remaining, some of the remaining money that is in the budget, I would ask for a motion for approval of the first part of the agenda item, the Glock training weapons and simunitions. These are basically firearms that shoot what's called a simunition, and they are blue rounds or red rounds, and they come and make a little mark on your clothing in reference to, it's not a paintball, but it's somewhat similar to that concept. If you are doing training and you have these weapons with the helmets that go along with them to protect yourselves, it is a great training tool, not only for the officers who are firing the weapon, but for those that are on the other end of the training, whether it's cover or otherwise. So Detective Van Alsdahl went to the training in reference to active shooter training, and he suggested that we purchase these items. I reached out to, during the grant process, to several of the other chiefs in the area and said that these, if approved in the grant, would potentially be available to other departments to use during their own active shooter training. They would have to have an instructor with them, but it may be beneficial, or it would be beneficial to everyone. But this would be a significant training upgrade to our department. The total for 16 Glock 17Ts, 1,000 rounds of blue simunitions, 1,000 rounds of red simunitions, and those are 5 cases of the blue, 4 cases of the red, so it's 9,000 rounds total, and 16 Mark Pro Gear Generation 2 helmets that the officers would wear when they're using those and training with these weapons. The total cost would be $13,836.10 through Whitmer Public Safety Group. And Mr. Wills indicated that if I send him a text message, he will have me the invoice tonight, which I can forward to Judy so it can go under this year's budget. And I think, Judy, we spoke about taking that out of the $23,000 that remain in capital purchases. So that would be my request in reference to these training items.
You said 16 weapons?
Correct.
Does that mean each officer gets his own, or how does that work?
during the training, they would have those. Or if we would have a true active shooter training with multiple departments, several officers on the different teams that would be set up, it would help us to not have to continually switch weapons between the different teams or the officers. Having 16 available, yes, that would cover what we have in our department. But if we would do a multi-agency training, we could give 3 groups of 5, 1 extra, the weapons to enter the building to do whatever they're going to need to do in reference to the training. That's why I was looking at the 16. And again, the helmets, so you don't have 5 helmets trying to split between however many people and then having to clean them before the next person wears them and that kind of thing, because there is a mask on that, so you have to clean them. So it would just be definitely a more efficient way of training.
What's left on that budget then for yours?
The budget out of that was $23,816.42. And the tasers, after Judy and I reviewed things, were built into next year's capital purchases. So there's no taser request tonight. For the newer taser 7s.
So I guess what I'm wondering out loud is, if it's in your budget, you have the budgeted funds there, right? And that's a necessity for the department. Really, that's kind of your call.
Well, it rises above the $5,000 threshold. That's why we need approval.
Is this a certifiable training that goes with the department then, or?
It wouldn't be certified. Detective Van also is certified in that, but it's a training that should be done. It's been a little while since we, as a department, have done that. Last one we did was at the Reamstown Elementary School. It's a lot of coordination, a lot of time and effort, but it is a very worthwhile training. The one we did at the high school, I was the bad guy in the high school, and it was very eye-opening for me on the other end of that when we did that training. But having these would be a better training opportunity than having the cheaper airsoft rifles that we were using previously, which is shoot, cocking ammunition.
So when you were the bad guy,
I got shot numerous times.
Which color hit you the most?
It was just the pellets from the airsoft. I should have worn thicker clothing when I.
They probably having a good time.
I'm sure they were.
Hey, you can volunteer as a bad guy when you get this. I'm sure you'll be all red.
Yeah.
One all red.
Yeah. Come and get me.
Right, so I will make a motion to go ahead and approve the chief's block training weapons and simulation tasers.
Simulation round.
Simulation round, sorry.
For a total of $13,836.10.
Within his budget, which is within his budget. So there's a motion.
I'll second it.
We have a second, we have a motion, and we have a second. Any comments or questions on that? Okay, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries.
Aye.
He's still thinking about the red pellet.
Sorry.
Wake up.
No, I'm awake.
2023 in 2 days.
That's all I have.
Thank you.
Sure.
The record show it was 3 yeses.
She was.
Okay. All right, next item, Judy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a few more cash transfers to do to clean up my balance sheet for the end of the year. The first one is for some ARPA funds that were spent for the FS4 program. I'm also anticipating spending what we think is the balance in the account for the reimbursement for the fuel for the fire companies. Those two items added together are a total of $30,166.06. And I'm looking for a motion to transfer that money from the Univest ARPA fund. And I would like to keep it in the Univest bank and put it in the general account there, since the interest rate is 4.5% compared to 0.55%, and we really don't need the money for operating. So the transfer would be from the Univest ARPA fund to the Univest general fund account.
Okay, wishes of the board.
30,166.06, right?
Yes.
So I'll make a motion to transfer $30,166.06 from Univest ARPA Fund bank account to Univest General Fund bank account.
And I will second that. Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any questions or comments on that one? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, the next transfer is from the Ephrata National Bank Developer Escrow account to the Ephrata National Bank General Fund in the amount of $3,340. This is for a financial security release for Kurt and Angela Russell for their stormwater management plan.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any comments or questions on that? Okay, seeing none, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries.
And I want to make the board aware that I will have 2 check runs tomorrow for the end of the year for payroll, and also for some accounts payable items, not including the bill the chief will have for me tomorrow. I also have $16,022.40 in additional checks that will go out that are for 2022 invoices. Those will appear as list of bills at the January 3rd, 2023 meeting, even though we will cut the checks in 2022. I want to make you aware of that. The last item I have is we have an administrative item that came up today regarding payroll. I'm looking for guidance from the board as to when the first payroll date for the new 2023 rates should be in the payroll. As you know, we're a cash basis accounting system, and the 2023 payroll budget amounts were made at the 2023 rates. So we were intending to change the rates for the first pay of 2023. It's dated 1/3, but that payroll period is for December 18th, 2022 to December 31st, 2022. And I need clarification on when the rate should be changed. Should they be changed for the first payroll of the year or the second payroll of the year? Past practice has been to change the rates for the first payroll of the year. And then the last 2 years, when I came on board, it was prorated for the dates, depending if it was a prior year day they were being paid for, it was paid at the prior year rates, and then the days for the new year were paid at the New Year's rates, which makes it very difficult to process. But this year, it just so happens that the entire payroll was for 2022.
Yeah, well, we had talked about this afternoon, transparency purposes. You know, this is the one year out of many when the calendar year falls at the
Who's we?
that was Judy and I.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I just wanna make sure, I don't know if you guys talked or what, I just wanna.
Yes.
make sure.
First time hearing it.
Me too, I got a call from Judy, I didn't talk to anybody else.
Yes, no, we were discussing a few other items and this was brought to my attention. And we had discussed it a little bit, basically just as Judy just laid it out. This is one of the unique years where the payroll period ends right at the end of the year. And, you know, with the prorated at the end of the year from the previous 2 years, seems like we should be following suit this year, and do it similar to the last 2 years. This payroll period winds up being on the 2022 rate, and yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Right, this is the first time hearing it, so let's back up.
Sure.
We're a municipality, we're a cash basis account. That's how we operate, right, Judy?
Correct.
We're not an accrual accounting methodology. Right? So being cash basis, why did it change to what I thought I heard you say it was being done as an accrual almost?
Right, correct.
So I heard that right.
You did, yes. It was changed because that's what I was instructed to do by the manager at the time. And I didn't question it because I'd only been here 6 months and I just did as I was told to do.
Yeah, because if we're a cash basis, we should be following the cash basis methodology, period. Because I didn't think we could go back and forth between accrual and cash basis selectively. I don't think any business can.
Sounds like we did the last 2 years.
Right, that's why I'm asking. It's the first I've heard of it, that's why I'm asking.
Well, like I said, this is the unique year. It falls exactly on the end of a payroll period, the start of a new year.
Right. No, I understand that. But I think we should be following, we're a cash basis methodology. We should be on cash basis. Regardless of where it falls in the period, regardless, it should be cash basis.
But if you worked in 2022, why are you getting paid with 2023 rates?
That's kind of what I was thinking.
That's a different item. But we should
I
be
see
on a
what you're
cash
saying.
basis.
I see what you're saying, but I also see what he's saying.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, I'm not even looking at the page.
I'm not either, I was just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I'm at the fundamental first step, which is we are a cash basis municipality.
Only accounting for whatever the payment is, not calculating.
The expense will be charged to the 2023 budget
Right, because the check is
because
cut,
the check is cut in 2023.
but the obligation is calculated on a 2022 rate.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll just bump into the next year. You'll have 26 payments paid in 2 weeks at the new rate. But you got out of sync at some point. I'm just thinking, but we're a cash basis at the law firm. And we have bonuses that don't get calculated until the end of the year figures are accounted. They were earned last year, but they're paid this year. It's an expense this year. Yeah, I think they're two separate questions, and I think that's where our C is going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're two separate. I'm at the first question, and I think fundamentally we should first remain consistent as a cash basis accounting system. Surprised Mayor Dusa didn't pick up on that one. Actually, I'm surprised.
Just announced it, so I'm sure they'll catch it.
They may have decided it's non-material.
Full disclosure.
Exactly,
overall,
that's
yeah.
what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably non-material.
Yeah.
So I think we're in agreement, we should do that first. And then the second question comes up, which is, what you were saying.
Yes, have a little discussion, I'll listen.
Well, you know, it's payment for 2022. You know, does everybody get an automatic raise the last 2 weeks out of the year because of this? I don't know. To me, it seems like a no-brainer that somehow for the whole year you get the same payment rate. You don't get the next year's payment rate for the last 2 weeks of work. But that's just me.
There would have been a couple days in 2023 in the pay period per se. You would have prorated those days?
Yes. Well, that, according to the last 2 years.
That's how I'd like to see it move forward, but that's just me, I don't know. If you worked in 2022, get paid for what you worked. 2023, it's a whole new year, God bless, that's the raise.
That's what happens when you're on cash accounting basis.
Well, that's kind of where I'm at too, I guess. January 1st, the new rates come in.
Not the correct accounting, but
That's not the correct accounting base.
Well,
so you're making a motion?
does it need one?
Do you need one, or?
I don't know that I need one, I just need direction on what you need to do. So what's the direction? That the first pay of 2023 should be at the 2022 rates? Is that the direction you're giving me?
For the days of 2022.
Which they all are.
Right.
Correct, yeah.
That's my thought.
I mean, for what my opinion is worth, I don't think this is an accounting issue. The accounting issue is when do you book the payment, and the payment is booked on the day it's made. This is a compensation issue. That for the days of 2022, there's one rate, and for the days of 2023, there's the new rate. And it may be blended as you go forward.
In one pay period.
Right, irrespective of when the pay is made. When the pay is made is the accounting issue. The other is a compensation issue. Right, it's probably a legal issue, it's a fair wage debt act issue. You can't say that if there were 2 days in 2023 in the pay period, the majority of them are 2022, they're all the 2022 rate.
Right.
Do that.
You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, that's a fair wage debt act issue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what I should do.
Do you hear,
First pay, 2022 rates.
you hearing that from two supervisors?
For the days of 2022, which just happens this year.
It just happened to fall.
To fall that way, yeah.
It's
The end of the pay
time-
period
It's the
was the
timing,
end of
it's the
the-
timing of the calendar with the timing of the pay period
Right,
that's causing it,
right.
which happens every, how many years, Judy?
15,
Every 15 years. Once every 15 years.
once every
Because
15
of,
years.
because of the legal.
Right, exactly.
Once every 15 years. Yeah.
We'll probably talk about it again 4 months from now.
Okay, so you've got guidance on that one.
I do.
Okay.
And then I believe that is everything I have.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Roadmaster, we tabling that one or is he on? Okay, so that was the one table, okay. Building and zoning, the table, that one. Ken, MS4, anything?
Yes. Report, the ARPA request we put into the county for the two-box culverts, bridge replacement on Hill Road right by the township building and up on White Oak Road was funded, and you're receiving slightly over $298,000. We matched with township funds, and it will be done in the near future.
Right, yeah.
In looking at that, do we want to go ahead and send the information off to our transportation engineer so they can begin the process of creating the bid package, because it's a multi-$100,000 project, so it has to go out to bids. So we go ahead and submit that now.
I think it should.
Gotta hit the ball rolling.
I have to get engineered first. Prior to getting bid.
Yeah, well, that's part of it, so it should go to the engineer and then go out for bid again. That's part of the process.
To the transportation engineer, right?
Correct.
We'll send the information along to them. The development block grant, the stormwater pipeline project for Town Heights. The bid package has been revised by Becker Engineering, now include both of the pipeline methodology, and it's been sent off to the redevelopment authority for their reviews, since they have to approve it before it can then go out for bid. So as soon as we hear back from them, we can begin the new round of bidding on that one. And one last item, the FS4 agreements with the farmers for 2023 went out. We have one of them returned so far, signed and all ready to go, and we're still waiting for the other two. And we'll probably give it another couple weeks to gather personal contact, but there's no immediate rush on that at this point in time. And that's all I have.
Okay, thanks, Ken. Okay, treasurer's report, list of bills.
List of bills. We have total general fund account list of bills in the amount of $88,956.85, with a starting date of December 16th through December 29th. Are there any questions on that list of bills as presented? Seeing none, I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries.
And we have an electronic payment list of bills in the amount of $77,759 for a pay period of 12/4 to 12/17 of 2022. I make a motion to approve as listed.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries.
And that's all the list of bills for tonight.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Under the treasurer's report, I'd like to bring up, bring it to your guys' attention. I was talking to Judy a little bit today. She mentioned it a little bit earlier. Univest upped their interest rate to 4.50, correct? We are currently only getting 0.55 from Effort National Bank. So I asked her to put a spreadsheet together for me so I could talk about it tonight. I'd like to see possibly moving $1 million over there to Univest. We have plenty of money in our general fund account with Ephrata. It's still gonna leave about 1.3 in there, I think, if we move $1 million over.
1,250,000.
Yeah, 1,250,000 will still stay in that. When come to May, the game plan that she came up with here and sent it to me, come to May, we would put our tax receipts in there as well. It's another 1.5 million. And then by the end of, come November next year, we could move $1 million back to our account as needed for cash flow. If we execute that game plan, we're looking at about $79,000 in interest alone. And the money's just sitting there right now. And being that they emailed us a couple weeks ago, I thought all of us were attached to your email. We should probably act, because it'd be dumb not to. We're giving up free money for nothing.
Would this be a separate segregated Univest account, or would it be?
No, this would go in the general fund account.
So it would just raise the balance there then?
Correct.
So the plan would be in January to move $1 million, in May to move another 1.5 million from the tax receipts, and then in November, withdraw $1 million so we have enough for our cash flows in the general account.
Through effort.
Through Ephrata, back to Ephrata.
That's your tentative plan.
That's the tentative plan that would gain $79,069.86 of interest.
Why are you only moving $1 million?
That was the number I kind of threw at her.
No, but I like the idea, but I'm just asking why only $1 million if there's that much of a delta in the, that much of a difference in the.
We could move
Interesting.
more.
I-
Definitely move more.
I actually liked what the discussion we had in the hall today with Judy. Previously, we don't have this here at previous workplaces. They actually had something set at a limit. Once you pass $1,000, anything past $1,000 automatically goes to the investment, account or whatever. Here we just have money sitting. It's not making anything for us. If we have that option, if we want to look into that in 2023, I honestly think it's in our best benefit to make money with our money. So this was just kind of a starting point, start a discussion, and again, to Jeff's thing, this is just a tentative, nothing set in stone. If you want to transfer $2 million, and we agree to transfer $2 million, that's.
Let me just change one of your wording there, so that we can make money with the taxpayers.
With the taxpayer money, correct. That's what we're here for.
Not our money. It's
Oh,
taxpayer.
well, that's what.
Just clarification.
Our is ours.
Somebody's gonna say it, so I'm just clarifying.
You had to get me.
Yeah. But anyway, no, the idea makes a lot of sense. The challenge we have is two different banks. So anytime you want to transfer money, it's got to go from one bank to another from different locations. It's a manual transfer. It's not a problem because we're working with budgeted money. You can anticipate when bills are coming and going, as well as payments are coming and going. So I think that, to your point, that why stop at $1 million? I think you can go a little bit more than that.
Yeah, with that much of a difference, that's significant.
I just wanted to bring it up.
No,
I know what I do. I just did this for
It's not a quarter
discussion.
point or half a point, so that's something we have to address.
And we should point out, last time this happened, that Univest changed their rates on us. We went to Ephrata Bank, and one of our board members went to Ephrata Bank, not we, and tried to negotiate the rate, and it came up a whole 0.05, I think.
I think wasn't it 0.05, and it went up to 0.55. Is that what it was?
So,
But since then, it has not changed.
It hasn't changed.
Where at Univest, it changes automatically to match. Every time the Federal Reserve Bank raises the rate, Univest automatically raises the rate. So I was having a discussion with Mr. Krimmel at the bank, and he feels that in the next couple months, the Fed's gonna raise it more, and we're gonna be up at 5%. So if you look at my analysis, you see I do change it from 4.5% to 5% in March. So we definitely, will actually get even more.
so at this point, the initial I had said was $1 million. If you guys would like to do more, we can, and then with the intent still of, bringing the 1.5 in May from the tax receipts. The more the merrier.
I'd like to see it modeled with the maximum amount we can leave in there. Because the difference on the interest rate far exceeds the labor required to move those funds around.
3.95%, it's a lot.
It's far in excess
Yeah, as long as we keep an operating fund there, that's.
Sure.
of that. It's what's the operating fund we
that's
need to work
comfortable.
with.
My other question to the financial administrator was, what if we need to move money around? We can move money around up to 6 times a month, correct? There's no fees. So that was my other question I had asked. So it's literally a paper check, taking it from one bank to the other. You're done, no fees, no nothing. You have your money. So
And we could do it electronically if we wanted to pay $27.50 a month.
With no limit on transfers
Yes.
from bank to bank.
Saves on
Bank
gas.
to bank, yes,
Because they're doing EFT.
right, correct.
Be more convenient. Start shuffling.
I think it's worth modeling it as what's the maximum we can do.
Okay.
And then you might as well model also if we move to an EFT model,
Okay.
electronic funds transfer.
Take out the fee.
Take the fee out and see what it looks like. So it's $300 a year.
Checks are expensive too.
But they're hard to hack.
Yeah.
Then the gentleman have to come in and sign it.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
Good.
so Chad?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay. So, where were we? Number 8, okay, thank you. We have a gentleman here who's visiting, so, Mr. McAnallis? Mecalatis, sorry. You had asked to be on the agenda.
I did, yeah, absolutely. So, I was a member of the Park and Rec Board, months ago. Situation happened where I took a leave of absence. Since then, I was able to complete my community service within an 8-month period, where it was expected to be done, completed within a 2-year period. And essentially, where I'm at now is on the administration pile, and I'm basically just waiting until next February to be done with the situation. So my whole idea is to do what I continue to do, is serve the community, as I had done prior to my stepping down, and to do a lot of great things for Cocalico Township. So I'm asking to be reinstated to the Park and Rec Board.
when you say till February you'll be done with,
My probation.
would that be an appropriate time to ask for the reinstatement when that's done?
Well, I mean, considering all things that, it's just another year of me not being part of Park and Rec Board. I have a pretty good idea of what was accomplished this year or not accomplished this year. During the tutelage that I was on the Park and Rec Board, we accomplished a lot of great things for the community. I can list them if you'd like me to. And I thought served the community as I did prior to. I don't see why there would be an issue serving now versus moving.
You did do a lot of good work there on your time, and I commend you for that volunteer work that you did.
So, I'm not sure if, because, remind me, you took a leave of absence yourself,
I did, yeah.
right? So we never formally took a vote that I remember for.
I think we accepted it. There's paperwork in there.
Did we?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
There's paperwork.
I'm just trying to think, because you voluntarily did the leave of absence, it's really up to you to then step back on the board. That's what I'm trying to think through. No, the vacancy was never filled.
That was before my time, that's what they're going there.
Right, but, okay, so looking at the meeting minutes, that's why they're important. I read your letter out related to you taking a leave of absence, and that's all we did.
Okay.
From our perspective.
There was no vote.
There was no vote. Because you had done that yourself.
Sure.
Right? So we left that up to you and then the board, and then the rec board as to what to do next. And so we never took a vote to accept your leave or terminate the position on the board. So really, I think it falls under just you and the board then deciding when you want to come back and start helping out again.
Great, wonderful.
I mean, that's my thought.
Any input on that, Matt?
No, I agree.
Okay,
Excellent.
thank you.
Looking forward to
Okay, next item, emergency services, potential ARPA reimbursement under repair funds. Jeff?
Yes, at the last meeting, we had made a motion to reimburse fuel from our 3 fire companies for bills that were submitted with proof of payment. And with the intention of using our $14,396.71 of undesignated ARPA funds. Well, lo and behold, we have $16,666.45 of validated fuel bills. That's more than the ARPA funds that we have designated. So a motion was made at the last meeting to spend the ARPA money that we are designated for the fuel reimbursement. And the suggestion here was to do it in a proportional way, so that each company gets the same proportion of the bills that were submitted and validated. And I think that proportion number was at 86, Judy?
86.38% of the bills.
86.38 of the bills. And I'll read the numbers out. Reamstown submitted $10,902.39. Smokestown, $2,792.72. And Stevens was $2,971.35. So at that percentage rate, the payout on that would be $9,417.63 to Reamstown. Smokestown getting $2,412.39, and Stevens getting $2,566.69, as per our motion from the last meeting. So, if it's the board's wish to stick with that motion and the proportional breakdown as laid out, that would spend that remainder of ARPA funds that is undesignated. Anything I missed there, Judy? Okay. So there again, what's the wish of the board?
For the money we agreed upon spending that ARPA,
Yes.
so we have the balance of 2269, right?
Well, why don't we, I guess, do we need a motion there to spend that, or, since we designated the numbers, why don't we have a motion to spend that proportion of money, as I read it?
14? The 14?
The 86.38%.
So you're looking for a motion for that?
For the ARPA money. Let's
On
get that
the
out.
strategy.
Let's get that out of the way. Then we
So
can talk
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's
Last meeting, we discussed paying out what was left with ARPA.
right.
Okay.
And that
But
was
now
the
this
motion.
is correct. So you want a motion now for the strategy that was used?
No, to spend the ARPA money.
But we did that last meeting.
We made a motion to spend it. We didn't have the figures and the proportion there. If we don't need it, we don't need it. What's your thought?
We made the motion. I mean, Matt can correct me, I don't believe we need it. What we can do is clearly outline so that it's documented on the record what the amounts are.
And I think I just laid that out.
So I don't think we need a motion for that.
Okay. So that takes care of that part of it.
Good.
There's a remaining total dollar number of $2,269.75 of submitted receipts for fuel. So, what's the wish of the board there?
So that's the balance.
Yeah, it's here on this.
No, right, but just so the public understands, that's the balance of what's left for the rest of that ARPA money that's there.
Of the this is the submitted receipts
Sorry,
over and above the ARPA money.
beyond the ARPA money.
Beyond the ARPA money. I think it was our original intention to spend the ARPA money, but then we did that without knowledge of how much fuel you guys use, and it's a lot. I guess at previous year's prices, our ARPA money would have more than covered it, but not this year.
So
any other money spent would have to be general fund money, I guess,
it's $2,269.75
for the receipts we have
for the receipts we have.
for fuel.
It's our 3 fire companies. That is, we should absolutely just go ahead, reimburse them for those out of the general funds for the total amount. It's a very, very small amount considering what they do. I think we reimburse it from the general fund.
So I just asked Judy quick, that's for receipts received.
Correct.
We originally had said to the end of 2022, so what if we carry this number over? I just don't wanna cause a lot for them for very little, but I was gonna say, get us the rest of the receipts for 2022 and we'll reimburse all 2022 fuel.
All right, so you're saying for the, okay, I follow.
Instead of the 2269,
So-
I'm sure they have other bills for 2022 for fuel.
Another month's worth.
But I don't know, they got these numbers for us pretty quick, so.
Yeah, what was the date stamp on these? Roughly. Jeff
Yeah.
seconded, so.
And then that's fuel and you
No,
asked,
when you got them back to us.
yeah, that would have been
About
in
2
November,
weeks.
and that was, for us, it would have only been, for Greenstown, it would have only been the middle of November, because we didn't have all our stuff back
Okay,
to get it to you in time, so we only had like a little bit, but you also asked for repair bills as well.
correct,
So you asked for fuel and repair bills for the year,
because,
which is only till basically, I can't speak for Smokestown and Stevens, but for us, it was like till November first.
Yeah, I think you're correct.
Okay. yeah, and we did ask for the repair bills, but then there was a change, Jeff proposed a change in the last meeting, that's when we had the big discussion of just keeping it with the fuel bills for now. Okay? So, yeah, no, I agree with you, Lorenzo, because I didn't I'm thinking in my mind the timestamp on the last fuel receipts is the 29th, and it's not.
Yeah, I would say, from our perspective, I would say you need to give at least till February first, until that cycles through with.
Your books,
Yeah, because we can't pay our bills until it goes through a monthly meeting, you know, and then until you pay it, and you're gonna get your return checks, so we have to get at least till our February meeting to get the return checks and things back, so.
I think our December bill for the school only come in January.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Might
February.
be February to get it approved.
February's gonna be pushing it, so it might, maybe March first is probably better,
now, and I'm looking at my computer, so I'm looking at the dates.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, so,
How
This
about,
is gonna get paid out anyway in 2023.
right,
Yeah.
it's
If
gonna
we
get,
make the commitment to them, so they know they're not wasting their time pulling stuff together, we're gonna say no.
right, so I agree with you, we should do it in terms of, well, midnight, let's do it officially, midnight, December 31st, 2022. Fuel bills through midnight, December 31st, 2022.
And sooner, don't bring me any 2023
Yeah,
bills.
from what we submitted to, what we owe you,
Yeah.
what was submitted to
Correct.
December 31st.
No double dipping, we're checking, okay?
But you may top off. So I'll be lined up out there on 31st.
That's what we did. Exchange, we sent everybody in the fuel box.
That's what we did.
That's all.
That's what's gonna happen.
No need, he's all here.
What's that?
We need to vote for it.
You need a motion for that.
And if you don't make a motion tomorrow, I can change my mind, or you can change your mind.
That's right, so we really need a motion, and again, that's.
Is there any other discussion?
no, I'm good with that idea.
Okay,
So I'll make a motion to reimburse Greenstown Fire Company, Stevens Fire Company, and Smokestown Fire Company for their fuel cost for the year through December 31st, 2022 at 11:59 PM.
So we have
Okay.
we gotta step on it fast to get the gas.
the chief's sitting up here, you don't want to say that.
All right.
I need a second,
Deliberate,
unless you gotta add.
deliberate speed.
I'll second that.
Once we count this up.
Motion is second.
No, there's a motion in a second, and I was thinking for a moment, and the reason I was thinking is I was wondering if we should add in there, you know,
The date when we're gonna do it.
right, but we can't because it's gotta make
We
it through their
committed.
cycle. Yeah, it's, when you guys are, let's do it this way, when you're ready to present those to us, you present them to us.
I would say from our perspective, you would ask, I think we can have it by March.
Yeah.
I would say by March,
That's
just bring it up to us and say, hey, guys, come on, where's your stuff? You know, so I would say, get it to you sooner than March.
No, that's fine, that's fine. It's-
Motion's still on the table, didn't pass yet.
So it's, yeah, I'm fine with the motion the way it is, you guys then know, and when you're ready and it's cycles through all of your accounting, then it comes to us, that's fine.
And when we get all three, we'll pay all three.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. I'll ask for any other questions or discussion on that. Okay, seeing none, we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, motion carries.
Just related to that, or just so we can communicate, are you gonna reimburse for the ARPA first?
Yeah,
And
that's,
now, you hold everything till it all comes.
no, that's coming tomorrow.
Yeah,
The ARPA
Judy has to close that out by the 30th.
wasn't spent this year, that's why the hurry.
Yeah. Yes.
The extra is extra, 2023.
Okay. so that'll hit your books on too. Okay. Okay, that one, we discussed tabling that one. Sorry. Liability insurance proposal. I don't think we got any, we didn't get,
I guess we need to make a decision whether we're gonna stick with Kilmer or go with the Gallon. And then if we go with Kilmer, we need to make a decision whether we're gonna keep the same carriers or we're gonna go to the new carriers.
As you had said, I wasn't at that meeting, so I have no clue what you guys discussed or talked about, so it's all in your hands.
right. I'm gonna ask to table this one. I did not bring my notes with me, and I apologize for that.
So if we don't sign, we're not gonna have insurance at 1/1/2023.
No, we still have it. We still
We
have
need
the
to
camera.
sign the agreement letters. Shirley's been getting them through the email,
What's your?
signed.
I guess the basic overview on it,
The renewal, not all the renewals were one,
I'm pretty sure they are.
we already did the bonding.
We did the bonding, because that wasn't part of the proposal.
Right. Give an overview on this, can't we?
Yeah, we can, absolutely, yeah. I just don't have the exact numbers.
Well, I don't either, but, you know, we met with our insurance provider, it's Kilmer. They're a broker, they use various, insurance companies. Currently, most all of our insurance is through Selective, that's who they brokered through. They presented to us, another company that they've been writing for 7 or 8 years, which would be McKee. They were giving us better coverage on several items, wasn't it? Than what we currently have with Selective at a greatly reduced rate. The McKee quote was in the 166,000 neighborhood, and was Selective, we were still over 200,000 for renewal prices. A significant reduction with better coverage. Kilmer has always been very good for us to work with. They've been real responsive when we have claims, and you know, I don't know why we wouldn't want to stay with them for those reasons. I don't know what your conclusions were from that meeting, but it sure sounded that they were recommending this other company, McKee, said they've been very good to work with also.
So Kilmer's the broker.
Yeah.
So McKee's the underwriter, they're actually the company. So one of the things that we had discussed that I was most concerned about because of my prior life was claims handling, how they handle the claims, and making sure the exposures we have as a municipality, how were they handling those and what do those look like? So, and coverages, and the amount of coverages we're actually carrying. So what Jeff's referring to is right, is I just don't have I didn't scan it, that's why I don't have it with me, I still have the paper copies. Their coverages were actually better than they were under Selective. They improved, which is what I wanted to see, which was good. And the costs that they had with McKee was definitely a lot lower. I just don't remember if it was over 200. It was one.
You mean with Selective?
So, yeah.
I think Selective was over 200.
It was over
20 something. It wasn't much over.
I think it was like 202,000.
Yeah.
It was just over 200.
Yeah.
So
that was basically a $35,000 reduction in premium with better coverage.
So I don't have a problem staying with Kilmer and moving forward with Kilmer. I just don't have the exact number here to say publicly. That's what I apologize for. I didn't bring my notes.
Yeah. And
because I didn't scan them.
ditto.
Do we have a, kind of a grace period? We have another meeting next week? Or do we?
Do you have those numbers there, Jim?
I don't. I didn't scan them either. They're probably sitting somewhere on my desk. Will probably take me about 30 minutes to shuffle through.
find
You
it.
see my desk.
I remember the one question that you had, and we have all three of our company people in the room, was about competent collision on fire equipment, whether we were doubling down on coverage in some way. I don't know whether anybody's suitable to answer that on the go, but that was all your engines and trucks are on our policy.
Yeah, we're sticking with the same.
Covered for the competent collision.
Go ahead and make the change.
And is that replicating coverage in any way?
What about with the Fire Relief Association?
They
The
pay
equipment
for,
they bought for you.
small, they pay a small equipment that's not listed.
That was my concern, that the
No,
Relief Association was carrying coverage
No, they
in
don't,
the township.
they only replace the certain equipment. On the trucks, not the trucks. Yeah, something on the truck, accessories. Townships covered that.
Same.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Come on. These guys, man, come on.
I mean,
That's, you can't put them on a spot.
our
I agree.
insurance policy is this big.
Yeah,
You
fair.
know,
And
We do not duplicate what you guys have.
And for the chiefs, one of the things that I was asking about, so you're aware of it, is one of the things that came up quite a bit was they actually have replacement cost coverage on the apparatus.
That would be a huge thing.
Yeah, for replacement cost coverage.
That's huge.
Versus non-replacement, wasn't it?
Versus actual cash value,
That's
Yeah.
which is a depreciated value on the apparatus if something
So
happens.
you're looking at that or at that, is that what you're saying?
That's what the difference between the
That's
two.
one of the
companies.
differences that they had. And when I read it, I'm like, and I double checked and asked again.
For a lower premium.
And I will tell you, our Relief Association picks up what the township is short on. So when you guys do your policies, we sit down with our insurance carrier, we take that to them and say, what don't they have, and then we pick that up. So it's always usually the small equipment and
So then we need to have, after we decide, we need to have a discussion with you,
with the Relief
because
Association.
chances are yours will go down because we have more coverage.
Yeah, Harvey was pretty much on top of that for all that years, because he would bring all that, he was kind of our insurance guy with that between you guys and us. So I would say it's probably pretty accurate at this point in time. So if you make a change, that's somewhat, the relief will have to look at. That's a whole different group of guys than just us three.
Yeah, so in essence, really, our broker is the same. Okay,
Who
So-
places us with?
who he places us with is really, it is really up to them. We're comfortable with what we saw there. So,
So at this, yes, sir.
With the premium going down.
Can we get a name?
Edward McLennis. So with the premium going down, are you giving anything away for that cost? I know you're getting more coverage in some areas, but
No.
so there's nothing that we're losing.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
That's
Yes.
unheard of usually.
Yeah, it was-
Yes.
There was really no givebacks.
Wow. We'll have it at the next meeting. I'm sure you guys can bring it. I don't have it, so.
You got it.
Yes, sir.
Stanberg, so who is McGowan Government Underwriters, and what were their proposals? I know we like our current agent broker, but who is that? Because that's who's on the.
That's who they're writing, that's who the broker is writing us with. So they're the actual insurance carriers.
Oh, so it's not McKean, or it's actually McGowan?
No.
No, it's different,
McGowan was your other proposal.
different proposal.
McCount,
Yeah, they both started with an MC.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the proposal from McGowan? I was just curious, was the coverage similar, and what was the cost perspective from that broker?
If I were to summarize that in 2 sentences, there was numbers that were better coverage with McGowan, but the premium was only slightly less. If I were to compare McKee with McGowan, I think a lot of the coverages were similar. better than what we currently have with Selective, but with, this,
You lose a relationship with a broker, it would be with a different broker,
yeah, that McGowan would be a different broker. It was,
so it's not worth the relationship.
Northeast. Well,
And it's claims, it's the important part, claims handler.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of trust in,
that's what I mean,
in who you know and versus
that's what
who
I'm talking
you
about,
really don't know, so.
that's what I'm talking about.
And it comes down to the claims handler.
I just wanted to make sure we mentioned this McGowan thing, if we're gonna vote on going with, what's the name of the other broker, I'm sorry?
Kilmer.
Kilmer. If we're gonna go with Kilmer, because that's what we've used forever, and they're great for us, and it's a great relationship, I just wanna make sure we at least mention McGowan before we make a decision, so that it's actually out there. That yes, McGowan had a proposal, the proposal was very similar to McKean, but with the
Similar-
relationship and claims, and it's not even a factor on the table.
So at this point, is there any other questions? No? Good. At this point, I'd like to make a motion to, stay with our current broker, Kilmer. Just follow their guidance for 2023 with whoever they place us with.
I think they were looking for direction whether we wanted to switch from Selective to McKee. And,
Yes. And then I believe the workers' comp, I can't remember who the insurer was, but that was changing as well.
yeah, I was focusing on the other coverage numbers more.
Well, that's why it's wrapped in, we're staying with Kilmer.
Yeah.
We're taking their recommendation for 2023.
By taking their recommendation, they were recommending at the meeting, McKee, and they were recommending the other,
Workers' comp
yeah,
insurance.
I'm trying to think of what their name was. So by following their recommendation,
I don't know if the brokers, excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't know if the brokers are allowed to recommend any specific company they can offer, you guys haven't decided who you want to.
Yeah, I'm with you there a little bit. You know, they gave us proposals for two companies. They gave us answered all our questions for each company. You know, I don't know that there was an official recommendation there. Do you remember that? I think he might be right about.
All right, gentlemen, how about this? Can we table this? I would like to request an executive session right now for personnel matters.
Okay.
And Judy could possibly dig it up in the meantime. That way we get facts on the table with this insurance. Are you guys good with
I
that?
can drive home and grab it and sit on my desk.
Okay,
If I
or
beat
I
you.
can drive home for you.
You guys okay with that?
Yes,
So I need a motion.
Yeah, no, if you're requesting an executive session, okay,
With the intention of returning to the.
To the meeting.
public session.
to make
We will be
further
returning.
decisions.
Won't be midnight, but.
No.
What you,
We do tend to fill up the available time.
makes me nervous.
that's why it's here.
Football games are on.
Okay, we just returned from an executive session. Executive session was related to personnel, specifically township manager search. We were in executive session from approximately 8:50 PM to 9:05 PM.
So do you just wanna address that now before we do old business?
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to announce about the manager search. We have a finalist candidate. We have informed him of our employment terms. We are completing our due diligence prior to bringing it to the board for an actual vote.
So, Judy, returning back to the insurance. Okay, so for the Kilmer Group, here's what we had. Now, these are the numbers in terms of the quote on the premium for what the renewal was, and then what the quote was with McKee. Property coverage with McKee is $14,950. General liability is $9,024. Inland marine is actually included under the McKee policy. 31 automobile is $31,257. Fire truck and auto physical damage, the premium is $9,500. Crime coverage is included under McKee. Law enforcement liability is $16,511. Municipal liability is included in their package. Public officials liability is $8,189. The umbrella policy for the municipality is $10,324. The workers' comp is $59,874. So the total, then there's the cyber data liability, which would be written with Cobwell, is $4,327, and the pollution is $2,000, which is with NASIP, is $2,525. That's a total renewal premium of $166,481. Now, the prior premium, when we were with Selective on those, the total number on that, it's right here.
Well, this was against the beginning.
Okay, well, so where we were was $196,387. So there's your cost savings. Again, Kilmer approached us with current carrier, current for premium renewal for next year, $196,387, versus switching carriers to McKee, it's $166,481. Some of the key changes there, some of the key differences are, on Selective, the inland marine is a separate coverage. Inland marine is $8,207. Under McKee, that's actually included. Okay? The other one is the municipal liability. The way they package it under Selective, it was $16,744 adder. Under McKee, that's actually included in their municipal package. Okay? So, the McGowan total.
I think it's important to note that just by creating these comparisons, the Kilmer Group was able to reduce our premium quite a bit without changing the coverage, just by comparing them to McGowan. And then by adding McKee to that, it dropped, significantly. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the McGowan totals were $232,211. Kilmer total was $233,085.
This was the original quote that got the ball rolling to create the other comparisons.
Okay. So
we're $60,000 cheaper versus Cushman.
With better coverage.
with additional coverage, yes. Okay.
Good job getting that.
Thanks, Judy. That's what happens when I rely on my computer and I didn't scan everything in at home.
Paper never fails.
The cloud never fails either. Okay.
Take me down. The cloud's down, we're down.
So you need a motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Want to change it or?
No, go ahead.
I will make a motion.
I'll add to it when we're done.
So,
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to stay with our current broker Kilmer and follow their guidance for 2023 with, go ahead.
With our carrier being switched from Selective to McKee, and pollution will be switched to NASIP for a total quoted premium of approximately $166,481.
See, I believe our workers' comp changes to, the new one is Nova.
And the workers' comp is from Selective to Encova. Thank you. That's what I added to the motion.
Motion's on the table, do I have a second?
I don't like the word guidance in your motion.
Change it up, make a new motion, I'm fine with that.
Take the word guidance out and put proposal in.
Well, I think a lot of us have talked now, so you probably should make a new motion, so it's clear for Lisa. Poor secretary don't even know who she's listening to first here. So go ahead, one person speaks, the others are listening.
I'm done.
Go ahead, seriously, for her.
Where's your motion?
I don't have any more, I already scribbled it out.
Give me your motion, I like your wording.
Go ahead, go ahead.
What word did you want?
Guidance out of there. It's a proposal.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we continue with Kilmer and follow the proposal for the 2023 insurance quoting premiums for approximately $166,481, whereas the carriers will be switched from Selective to McKee and from Selective to Encova, and pollution coverage will switch to NASIP. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you,
Opposed, none, motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
thank you for getting that.
Yeah, thank you again, Judy.
That was helpful.
Very helpful.
Okay. Water and sewer, building expansion, do we table that one for now, or?
Well, we have no new knowledge.
Right, so we should table that
The
for
only
now.
update is,
Yeah, we're meeting with the authority for an informational meeting next Thursday, where we will look at their plans and their prints and their bids to see what their expectations are for a building expansion.
Again, that's an informational meeting for the board, that is, there's no decisions there, made there, no deliberations of any kind.
we could possibly have an update for the audience at the next meeting.
K-9 unit, the police department, I think that one's tabled also. Okay, community development, that item is tabled. Okay, Adamstown Mayor, Deputy EMC request, gentlemen. We received an email from Mayor Schmidt in relation to requesting from us what kind of donation, if we even would consider a donation for Adamstown EMS.
No, that's Reinhold.
I'm sorry, Reinhold's EMS.
Timing's everything, and we've completed our budget process now, and this came in really late in the game for us to give a serious consideration for. I would like to help them out in some way, but at the same time, our budget's done and approved. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts are.
No, good.
You know, I kind of had the same notes written down, and perhaps we can table it and discuss it again in 2023, see where we're at, what we want to do. We have not discussed it at all, so I haven't put much thought into it, to be honest, with all the other stuff going on, so.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and table that one then. Okay, so we are on to public comment for non-agenda items. Again, please, yes.
We have a person on Zoom who has a public comment.
Okay,
You go ahead and talk.
Good evening, gentlemen. This is Steve Brubaker. I'm just commenting because you have an open agenda item from the last Board of Supervisors meeting. I submitted my letter of intent to the rec board at the December meeting. I submitted it to Lorraine. They made a motion and they passed it to pass on to the Board of Supervisors for your motion.
That sounds like a reorganization meeting item.
It's in the
Was
meeting.
his resignation?
It's in the meeting.
This is in next month's meeting.
yeah, Mr. Brubaker, that was in last month's meeting. We did accept that.
Not last month's, 2 weeks.
I'm sorry, 2 weeks, yeah.
Two meetings ago.
We did accept that.
I remember though, Mr. Krem had some questions about whether my term was being expired or not. So I don't know if there was any action taken on that. You were going to check with Lisa or somebody.
Well,
I did check with her, give me a second.
filling positions,
His term was going to end on 12/31/2024.
24?
oh, so no action is
Well, there should be action required.
No, there needs to be action required because, Steve, you're resigning from that?
I'm stepping down. Yes, my term is not expiring.
okay, yeah, I'm shouldn't work from memory.
I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Steve, just to be clear then. So you're stepping down from that at the end of the year, but the term goes for another year after 23.
Correct. My term is expiring in 24, but I'm stepping down effective December 31st, 2022.
Okay, so then Matt is our solicitor, I believe, I agree with you. That would be a reorg item then that you would not want to be considered.
No, but he
During the
would not be,
There's no motion. There's no
so you
motion.
could accept his resignation this evening, if you haven't already.
I found the meeting minutes, and it said, you're correct, Mr. Brubaker. Says letter of intent from Steve Brubaker. Chairman Carrasco read a letter from Steve Brubaker stating that he will be stepping down from the Recreation Board. There was no motion made at that meeting. So being that he's not up for reappointment, he has a valid point. We would need to accept his resignation, so he is not part of it in 2023.
Yeah, so you would create a vacancy
Correct.
For that board.
for that position. Yep.
Yeah, it's on the December 15th meeting minutes. I just drew it up here.
There you go.
So,
You want to make that?
so I will make a motion to accept Steve Brubaker's resignation letter from the Recreation Board effective December 31st, 2022.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries. Steve, thank you for catching that.
Sure, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, so announcements. I do have an announcement for the public. What I'm gonna ask, gentlemen, if you're okay with this, I wanna make sure Lisa gets this on our website. This is the announcement for, we were informed by JVI Group Incorporated that they're gonna be doing construction on Stevens Road. The construction is set to start on Thursday, January 5th of 2023. There will be a detour lasting 193 calendar days. The detour plan is attached, and then there's contact information here for Andrew Bomberger. So there is a map here with the detour information.
If you're driving a truck, don't drive on Council Road.
Yep.
Please.
I would like to add, are you done with that?
Yeah. So you can add, yeah.
So I have some notes written down just for, obviously you can't see his little map. In Stevens Road, it would go to Line Road and Springville Road to Shennick Road and then 272. I waited till now. I have some concerns about that because a lot of people aren't gonna wanna do that whole big route. So I wanted to bring to you guys, this is hidden pretty quickly. Do we speak to our road, John Schick, our road engineer, to video Wabash and Pouts Hill? Because what if, this is a long time, it's 6 months. What if these guys are, remember, Line Road, it doesn't say no left turn to trucks at Wabash. It only says no right turns. So what if the tractor trailers, a lot more are gonna start using Wabash Road and Pouts Hill Road and destroy our roads because of this detour?
So
they're not gonna follow signs.
So a state route detour can only officially be on state routes.
Correct.
But it doesn't prevent people who know from deviating. And that's going to be an enforcement issue.
You cannot enforce video traffic cameras in Pennsylvania.
Well, I wasn't saying it like to video our roads to see
You're talking about
current
conditions.
I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
No. I wanted to video them to get our current condition and what they're gonna look like when this bridge is over.
What are there any prohibitions posted on either of those roads?
For trucks?
For trucks, yes.
So, I mean.
It's an enforcement issue, yeah.
And for the public.
And it's more appropriately an enforcement problem.
And for the public's knowledge, I mean, we were advised of this on December 20th.
Yeah.
So this is very, very recent.
I mean, the only signs that are, we literally have pictures of the signs that are going up. Road closed 1.5 miles ahead, local traffic only. Stevens Road detour, there's 4 of those. End detour, and then it says road closed 1 mile, road closed 1,000 feet, road closed 500 feet. This bridge to be closed from construction starting date. And then it says road closed with a detour and then detour ahead. Those are only going to be on state roads. We do not have any signage in place at this time on our personal roads.
Yeah, I'm looking at the engineering drawing here. I can tell you it actually specifies detour length is 6.36 miles.
Yes. I think they're gonna do it around it.
That's not very good.
And for the record, the one that said this bridge will be closed.
Name, sorry.
Bonnie Stover, the one that said this bridge is gonna be closed or laying down on the ground that flew over last week ago, it was sort of nobody ever picked it up yet.
And work is gonna start soon.
So
What's your goal with the videotape, I guess?
To document conditions.
document the condition. What if there's big cracks on our roads then after all this?
What are we gonna do with that?
I don't know, is that a possibility? You know, then it's he said, I don't know.
It's a matter of,
You gotta prove who destroyed your road.
yeah,
Well, that's it.
It's gonna be hard.
What are we gonna do with that?
there's an example up in Scranton where a over height tractor trailer deviated from the detour and hit every cross beam on, remember that? And I don't recall he was ever caught. Had he been caught,
So is there an option to, since there are roads, I'm assuming we can put signs up, putting no tractor trailers or?
well, that's what
They
I
are
asked the chief, it's already
They are,
posted.
okay.
So it would be a violation, irrespective of whether any damage resulted. It's a violation to drive on that road, but somebody has to cite them.
The enforcement's gonna be extremely difficult.
Well, if they catch them on the road, if they're sitting there and they catch them on the road, then that's easy. You know, first tractor trailer trying to pull out of Pouts Hill, good luck. And we haven't heard anything, knock on wood, a lot with Wabash, and now hopefully that's gonna start back up.
You should have said that.
That goes on record.
Okay, so,
You should have said that.
Yeah, so, excuse me,
Yeah,
so
you
I think-
call the problem to you.
I think the first thing we need to do is, I'd like to get consensus that Lisa, at least, Chief, you can get this out on your Facebook page, Lisa can get this out on the township website, on the front page under the news, okay? If the fire companies could help us out here a little bit, get this information out on your Facebook pages also.
Do you want to add that Wabash or whatever is posted, no trucks other than local deliveries? Get it advertised?
It's, yes, but it's mostly that they're gonna be out of area, truckers are gonna drive down the road and go, oh, there's a road there.
Does everybody follow Google or Waze or
The
whatever?
GPS, which is part of the issue we've had.
Yeah.
Well, we have 6 months, so it's gonna adjust.
But it starts in less than 2 weeks.
If you're gonna video it, just, yeah, it's not a bad idea, but what are you gonna do with it?
Well, that's the problem. You can't go to the bridge guy.
They don't,
Okay,
That's how it's
nobody's gonna care.
Just a thought,
No, it's good
because
thought.
it's, knock on wood, I hope nothing happens to our roads, but if it does, we're gonna get stuff on the bill.
Yeah, of course.
okay.
Proving the condition is one thing, proving the culprit is,
Different ballgame.
All right, so our next Board of Supervisors meeting is gonna be the reorganizational meeting. That's gonna be on Tuesday, January 3rd of 2023. That'll be at 7 PM here in the Township Building.
Ken has somebody there, let's see.
What's that?
There's another comment.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Hi, this is Steve Brubaker again. Just to add to the discussion about the Stevens Bridge closure. We know Fouts Hill is restricted for trucks and Wabash. Any consideration to detouring those trucks down Garden Spot Road, which does not have any restrictions?
PennDOT can only do detours from state road to state roads. They're not allowed to put the detour sign onto a township road.
yeah, township road cannot be included in the detour.
Okay.
Yeah, so all, in this map, you'll see, once we have it up on the website, you'll see the detour route itself, they are all SR roads, so that they're all state roads that they're detouring them on. Okay? Right, so, which one?
Yes, one more issue with our future meeting dates. The authorities put us under a bit of a deadline, asking us for a response before the end of January to their request for a building expansion. I will not be at the January 19th advertised board meeting. Not that it can't go on without me, but my suggestion to the board would be to advertise a January 12th meeting, which would be the Thursday prior to that. That way, if there's other Black Horse news that needs to be addressed by the board, we can have discussion about building expansion on that date with all three of us involved, and any other issues that would come up. So that would be my suggestion to the board. We would add a January 12th meeting date.
I'm okay with that as well.
Good too?
Yeah, I'm looking at the calendar.
Okay, and we probably need a motion for that, right?
Yes.
And direct advertisement on the meeting, on the
Okay.
special meeting.
Okay, I'd make a motion to have a Board of Supervisors meeting at the Township Building here on January 12th, and have recommendation to advertise in the local papers of that.
At 7 p.m.
And to be
At
clear, that would be a meeting for all business to come before the board, not for a special purpose only, correct?
Correct.
At 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, be safe, everyone, thank you.
For each